Hey guys, Rice here for set 3 of SKT versus KT Rolster. This has been a fantastic series so far. In the first two games we saw some very exciting matches. It looks like they are both 1-1 at this point, SKT versus KT. SKT versus KT, cool. Anyway, it looks like in this match we have some more big names. This time it's Best versus Flash. I gotta say, I looked up something interesting in this map, in this matchup, and I realized why I was so excited. Now, there are 8 players mentioned who are going to be in the lineup, not including who's playing in the ace match. So 8 unique players. Of those 8 unique players, 5 of them have at least a silver medal in either the OSL or the MSL. That's insane. No wonder I was so excited with all the big names. And the players who aren't, right, who haven't won a medal yet are Hyuk and Violet. And Hoja's okay. So in the entire 8 players that are up in this matchup, only one of them would I consider even remotely mediocre, and that would be Hoja. In this matchup, though, we have Flash versus Best, and this is a huge name battle in my opinion, and here's why. Best has been a good player in the past, but lately he's not doing all that great, to be honest. He's 4 for 5 of his last 5 matches, and none of those are big names with the exception of the one guy that he lost to, Pusan, which isn't even a very big name. It's just a name that people would at least know. He's beaten Hydra. He's beaten Fire Fist. He's beaten Chava. I mean, who the hell are these people? He hasn't beaten a big name player since like mid-August. Now, Flash, on the other hand, let's take a look at Flash's stats. This is kind of interesting. He is on a 10-game winning streak. He's beaten some fairly big names: Quanro, Hero, Hyun, Firebat Hero, Savior, Haya, Hogil. All players who you're like, hey, I know those guys. That's pretty impressive. And on the other hand, we have Best, who just hasn't been doing all that great. He hasn't been a big name since mid-August. And it was only one win against Com, where he lost a series to. So Com, in the end, won anyway. All right, so I got to say, starting right away, I can only imagine that Flash, who is on an absolute tear, is going to win this series. Well, this game is not a series, sorry. And they're going to be playing on Fighting Spirit. Here's the map real quick. We'll take a look at that. Worthwhile looking at a newer map like this. Slightly Terran favorite statistics at the moment against Protoss. It's still early in the season, though. And you can see that kind of an interesting map, although I could see why this would be more Terran favored, because there's both a bridge as well as a upper ridge for a second expansion. The bridge is right outside the natural expansion, so the Terran has a good chance of just containing with tanks and things that's very difficult to break. And we've seen other maps like this. Return of the King always reminds me of this, as well as some other ones where it's just, you have this choke to kind of get through, where you have a small way to get around the back, but not really, because all those units could basically get hit by those tanks if they're lined up around that ridge. So I could see why this is Terran favored. Anyway, it looks like, let's start off right away looking at the players. I don't want to spend too much time on the map. I usually go off on wild tangents for like 2 or 3 minutes, and as I encode the video, I realize this. I'm like, damn it, I spent way too much time. He's already up to his robotics facility, So obviously we're seeing some one-gate tech coming from Best, which I like. I like this on this map, because on this map, you can't waste any time. If you waste time, you're going to get owned, and he doesn't want that to happen, especially against a player like Flash. Flash, on the other hand, is very confident in this game. Obviously, he's going for a fantastic build on this map, going for a FD, getting that fast expansion up, because by doing that, he can easily defend his ramp, and that's the beauty of this map for a Terran player. He can easily defend that ramp, and then he can easily put that expansion down and just defend his bridge. And then he can easily get his next expansion and defend that one ramp then with a couple of tanks, and he could even wall it off if he wanted with some supply depots or something, and give himself one exit to get outside of his base. And that's very difficult for a Protoss player to go against, especially when the player that you're trying to go against, his name is Flash. I mean, come on, Flash is insane. And look at Flash already. I don't know if he's scouting for a proxy or what. It looks like he is. He only saw one zealot on the ramp, so he thought that there might be a proxy robo or something, which is definitely something worth checking out, because I think that he knows that basically he obviously he's a favorite player on this map. He's going up against Best, who's been doing okay, but he's Flash. He's on a 10-game win streak, so he's in the position of command here. He knows that if any mind games are going to be played, they're going to be played by Best, and so he's got to watch out. Now, Best, on the other hand, is getting that fast expansion up, and at the same time, he's going to get the robotics facility. Very standard play. It looks like, I think I saw an observatory going down first. I like that. He looks like he wants to make sure he's got sufficient information before he goes for any harassment. Definitely safer play. But now I expect to see a robotics facility go down. We're also seeing goon range being upgraded. So, very cool. Most likely at this point, he's making a shuttle inside of that. Oh, wow. And look at this. Flash already. Wow, Flash is playing really safe here. He's got turrets going up. He doesn't know if there's going to be a DT rush or if there's going to be a DT drop or a Reaver drop. But the turret at the front suggests that he expects both a DT rush as well as, well, he's prepared for everything right now with the turrets going all over the place. And this is great by Flash. He knows that, again, he is in control. He is a favored player, and more likely it's going to be Best trying something wacky. But Best, at this point, because he didn't go super fast tech, he's benefiting because basically he's going to have an observer to see all these turrets down, and so he's going to know that it's going to be very difficult to pull off any sort of harassment here, and he's got to be careful. And it looks like Flash is forcing this to go to the mid-game by getting these turrets up, so he's not going to fall prey to an early harassment. And by doing that, he's ensuring that he has got a very good chance in winning this game, because again, this is definitely a much more favored map for a Terran player than for a Protoss player. And Best is seeing all these turrets up. He knows that even if he went Reavers at this point, it'd be very unlikely that he could do much damage. So I wonder if at this point he's going to actually switch up, change his tech a little bit, maybe go for a High Templar tech tree instead of a Reaver tree. That, in my opinion, would be the smarter route to go, because it's going to be very difficult for a Reaver to do any damage already at this point. He's got 2 observers, wow, one to take hits and the other to try to sneak in to see what tech is hidden behind the turrets, and oh, he gets in to see it. I like that. Beautiful play by Best. He needs to know what's going on, but he's going to find out that it's going to be very standard Flash play, basically, at this point. So now, but he knows that there's not enough units where Flash can just push out, so he is going to be able to get that second expansion going up, and he is going for the Templar tech tree. He's getting down that Citadel of Dune, and then he's going to get down the Templar Archives. Again, I like this play. This is exactly what he should be doing at this point. He's going to get, oh, he's getting a Stargate. He's going to go for Arbiter tech, actually. Okay, so even better. I was expecting temp drops, but you know what? With the turrets up, that could be difficult to do, especially with the tanks in the background. So, arguably, Arbiters is much better tech tree for him to decide to go. So, very well done. Flash, on the other hand, still playing very conservatively, going to get the ComSat station down, and by doing that, he's going to be able to gain as much information as he can from Best, who he is not really successfully scouted still at this point. He is in the dark, and he's playing very safe. You can see he's got techs at the back of his base, techs at the front of the base, turrets all over his base, in order to really protect against anything that could be thrown his way. And he is going to be able to protect against anything, but at the same time, he is wasting a lot of money on defenses, whereas Best, on the other hand, has not really spent any money on defenses. He doesn't even have many units out. He's got 4 Dragoons and a Zealot, because, again, he's got that observer out. He knows exactly what's going on, and I like the fact that he put a pylon block at his second expansion, especially with Flash, who's going to be doing a lot of vulture harass, as you can see right there. Now we're starting to see more and more units coming out for Flash and for Best. Best is getting his goon count up, which is certainly a good thing to do. We're also seeing a starport going down. That's going to be both used for upgrades as well as science vessels. As soon as he scouts with that ComSat, he's going to know that there's Arbiter tech if he scouts the right spot, and I'm guessing he already did that, which is probably why he's getting that starport. And good anticipation by Flash in order to do that. At the same time, look at Best. I like what Best is doing. Best is doing a good job of making sure that he's got sufficient defenses up. He doesn't want to get harassed because he's already behind playing on this map, which is definitely Terran favored. Now he's getting that Arbiter Tribunal up, and he's going to get Arbiters out probably the next minute and a half, which is about... they seem to take forever to pop out, to be honest. Whenever I make Arbiters, I press A, and then I wait like a half hour. It's like, hey, it's like making a baked potato. You know, you put it in the oven for an hour, and maybe by the time it comes out, you're hungry. You know, you're not even hungry when you make a baked potato because it takes so long to make. I don't know how many of you have ever watched Mitch Hedberg, but I totally just stole that joke from him. He goes... I just said the joke. I'm not going to repeat it. So anyway, Mitch Hedberg, very funny comedian, died of a heroin overdose, so like a year or 2 years ago. But still very funny, worth checking out. Check out his specials on like YouTube or something. I'm sure they're up there. Anyway, Flash is now going to 3-base Terran, and Fantasy. Best. Why did I get Fantasy's name of all people in there? Best is now going to have to... oh, they're on the same team at least. Best is now, at this point, he's going to have to get something up in order to deal with this, whether it's a 4th base or continuing that tech. And he is... I don't know. I already feel like Best is falling behind. I feel like just the fact that... why do I keep wanting to say Fantasy? just the fact that Flash is pushing this game to late game makes me feel like Best is falling behind. Although, if he can be, see, here's the thing. If he can be effective with those arbiters, yeah, he could certainly stand a very good chance in this game. But he's going up against Flash on this 10-game winning streak, which, you know, and Flash is playing his game. He's playing very conservatively. So really, I look at Best and I'm like, hey, man, you got to put some pressure on. You got to do something, because really, this map is not in your favor. And he doesn't he's not being pressured, but at the same time, he's playing so defensively. He doesn't have map control. And that's what he needs to do. He needs to make sure that he starts getting map control, because that can start to win this game. We're seeing 2 armories up.